Well, hey, y'all. Uh, I am tired, but I'm still going. I've been up since 3 a.m. I don't know why my body decides, hey, sleeping, let's not do that today. So, it is what it is. Um, yeah. I got some pieces cut. Hold on, let me show you. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Y'all know how I showed you that dark and light fabric that I had fat quarters? This is a free pattern, so I can show you this. How cool is this idea, right? This is the most comprehensive pattern I've ever seen. Like, it's pages and pages of what to do, right? It even shows how press the seams, which way to press the seams. I mean, it's just amazing. Who is this that did this one? It doesn't have a name. It just says Cabin Time. It doesn't have the designer. I don't know. But, yeah, I found this guy on Pinterest. Now, I didn't have enough fabric to cut the last few strips because they go up to 14.5 inches. So I didn't have enough to go up that high. I think I stopped at like 10.5. So it's not going to be as big, but it is what it is. I had to go to run some errands today because I found another English paper piecing idea that I wanted to try. So I went to the Dollar Tree because I was like, surely there's something here that I can trace on that would give me a lot of not templates. What's that word? Pattern pieces, I guess. They had note cards, to over 200 of them for $1.25. I didn't know if the pattern piece would fit it, because I am trying a new pattern and piece, and it's really small, so I don't know how well that's gonna work. But so I got a note card. I got the note cards and I brought them home, and I said, well, if all else fails, I'll just put it one piece, I'll do something different because I'm not out a lot of money. So this one, I don't have a preview. I don't have the tablet with me. This is gonna be the cross quilt. You do it a piece and a piece and then a piece and a piece, and it makes crosses. This thing is tiny. So I got the note cards. The note cards are, I think they're the 3x5. Right? They're the thinner ones, so it is what it is, but I'm not glue basting anymore. And I'm going to tell you about that in just a little bit. But I can fit 3 of these patterned pieces onto one note card. I was like, oh, this is good because I'm going to need a lot of them. I've been able to, do a few right now. I just printed the paper out, cut it out, stuck it to a piece of cardboard, and then cut around that. That's the way I'm going to do it, right? I did have a piece left over from the 5-inch diamonds. So I was like, well, let's use one of those, see how many I can fit on that. And I was able to fit quite a few. So I was pretty cool about that. Yeah. I don't mind, cutting them out. Pattern pieces are so expensive. You can buy them on Temu, you can buy them on eBay, but one thing I have been seeing is um, the sizing is off. Now, for me, do I really care about sizing? No, I don't. As long as my stuff's consistent, I don't care. So, anyway, and I don't know, they're too big for 2.5 inch squares to put on the fabric. So I cut 3 inch, right? But even at 3 inches, it's still really a lot of extra. Now I could cut it down, I guess, but I ain't got time for that. I'm not about to cut the stuff down. That's why I cut squares. Either you get in on the ball game or you don't. And if that means I have to overlap all of this, oh well, I'll overlap it all. So I think 3 inches is gonna be where it's at. Now that I have 2 projects going with hand sewing, and I was trying to do it out of one big box, I was like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I want to make 2 individual EPP kits, English paper piecing. And so I went down to the Walmarts and I said, okay, how can I do this in a cost-effective manner? And they had these Sterilite totes with locking lids, because locking lids was a big deal for me. I needed that bad boy to lock. A lot of times I try to grab stuff with my left hand, knowing better, and I will drop it. So locking lids is a very big plus in my world. They did the brain scan today, so maybe they'll find out what's going on there. I told her, beware, there's going to be squirrel carcasses up there. She laughed about that. But so I went to the Walmarts to get some needles, thread, and stuff like that. Our Walmart craft section, I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know. It is super small. Like, there's 2 aisles. One's fabric, one's crochet, and some sewing stuff. It's not cool. So I went over to the Hobby Lobbies, and I found some thread. I got this. I don't know my weights. I just go off of what I watch. But this was in the hand piecing section. I mean, like, there's a whole rack of threads, and they're all different. And anyway, this was in hand piecing quilting, and it's a 32 weight. I don't know. So I got 2 of these because I have 2 different kits. Now it says $3.99, but they were on sale today for $1.99. I was like, yeah. So I got these to sew the pieces together. So that way, when you look at the quilt, you see this. For basting or sewing it together type thing, to just sew the fabric to the shape, I have what I call random thread, or whatever. I have this stuff is good. This stuff Miss Janice sent, and it's good. I don't know where she got it, but it comes in a braid like this. I love this stuff. So I was gonna go to Hobby Lobby, try to find something similar. They did not have that. So I was like, I'll just get some junk thread. Well, I call it junk thread, because it's going to be cut off anyway. It's just going to be there to baste. So what they had is a kit that had these in it. They're very small, like hand sewing, emergency sewing things. But there was a ton of in the package, and it was like $2. I was down for that. The other thing I knew I wanted to get was a way for my needles to not get lost. I had a pin cushion, but it was too big. So I thought, well, I'll go get a small pin cushion. Of course I can make them. I didn't want that. I wanted something that if the box dropped, my needles would not go flying. So I'm not a fan of pink, but these were cute and I was going to get them. These are metal needle tins. So these needles came with that thread kit. So I put them in here, and then I've got some other needles in there too. And, you know, so it's got a magnet in it. So that way I feel a little more secure about that. I wanted another pair of these, but I got these off of Temu. And I have not been able to find them locally. I'm not ordering from Temu because of the tariff situation. So, I don't know. It is what it is. But I'll show you my thread baste. Is it called thread basting? I think so. But here's the diamond shape, right? And they're all done with the thread. This is super easy. And it makes things so much easier. So much easier. I wish I would have thought of doing thread basting way before now. Because it's really good. It's really good. So anyway, I've got 2 kits. I haven't started on the plus quilt, or the cross quilt, whatever you want to call it, because I need to cut 3-inch squares. I kind of wonder, I'm almost to the bottom of my scrap bucket where I've processed the scraps, and like the very smallish pieces are at the bottom. But I'm kind of wondering, and I was going to throw it away. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? The little bitty stuff I don't want to keep because I just, if I don't throw it away, I'm going to find the need to keep it, when in reality I don't. They're like crumb-sized pieces. What am I going to, you know what I'm saying? So I may, let me see, because this is a rectangle, and I've been doing some researching, and somebody said to do a rectangle. So let me see if a rectangle would be a better option. Because if that's the case, I could get rectangles out of these. Maybe. Oh, it's going to be really tight. Oh, that's going to be super, super tight. I don't know if I like that. It could be done. But man, that is tight. I don't know. But I'm thinking, you know, I just added the leftover scraps of, when I'm done with a quilt, I add the leftover pieces and, you know, process them as I make it through the world of scraps. So I just haven't processed. Look, here's a piece of mousse. That looks like a 3-inch square. Let's see. Down, and then, wait, let's go this way. See, that would be just too much. It's covered. I mean, it's covered the whole piece. So I'll have to figure out exactly what I can do with this situation and go from there. So, ouch. That would be too small, huh? Yeah. So I may just wiggle around in that and see what my options are. Now, here's what I want to show you. I did something, and it's only because of you. Oh, crap. I forgot to put the scissors back in there. I need those scissors. And it's only because of you. Y'all were really, really wonderful in the comments the last time. And I took your advices. I read the comments like I always do. Look at this. Look at this. Everything's laying a lot flatter. It's still kind of a little bubbly. Is that the right word I'm looking for? But I'm in an English paper piecing group now, and they said that's normal, that it'll calm down once I iron it and take out the papers. So here's the star. Here's the hexie star. So I just sewed it together so that I could decide if I was doing it right. This is all thread basted. These are all thread basted on the back, except for the hexies. They are glued because I already had them and I did not want to waste them. So the hexies, I'm going to have to find a much bigger piece. I found some cards or scrapbook paper, super thin stuff that's not that great, but I found some and just did a couple. I saved this one from one of the hexies I undid. But I'm not going to worry about hexies at this moment. I'm going to worry about making more stars, and then I'll get into joining them, and then I'll also be doing some hand piecing of the cross pieces, or the cross plus sign quilt, whatever. Now, I also had another thought while I was getting into hand piecing. I don't know what it is. I love this paint. I love this. I absolutely love it. I don't know what I did with it. Somewhere in this pile of stuff. I was given a packet of apple core pieces. I can't do curved piecing on my sewing machine. I've tried, it's frustrating, and I just don't do it. But I was happened to click on a video where they hand sewed it. You didn't have to have papers or anything because it was already cut out. The pieces are already cut, they just need to be sewn together. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is genius. I can hand sew those together and I bet it would work. I was so excited on that thought. But I'm not going to put too many irons in the fire. I don't even know where those stuff is right now, so it is what it is. I'm going to work on this quilting I've got going, and yeah, so I hope to nap soon because I may go to bed early. Oh my gosh, y'all, if y'all never had an MRI of your head, that is scary as hell. I had to lay back in this thingy, and then they put this thing on my face, and she goes, it's gonna hurt your chest. She goes, these are not made for big blessed women in the chest area. And I said, okay, well, it is what it is. And she snapped it down. It's like a halo piece. And so it hit right here, and when you lay down, they come up to your chin. And she's tried to squish them down and snap it in. And she goes, I know that's gotta hurt. And I said, it hurts, but let's do this. That was 20 minutes of heck. But you know what? If they can figure out what's wrong, that is greatness. Because I don't think it's normal to feel like I do. And I know y'all are like, girl, you got so many medical problems. You're always hollering about medical stuff. Well, I used to not be like that. And I would just blow it off. But my doc is like, listen, honey, you're going to have to fight for your physical health. She goes, if you plan to live in this world for any length of time, you're going to have to fight the medical battle too. She goes, we can send you to all these referrals. She goes, but you're going to have to be a little proactive on your end. And I said, well, I'm going to feel like a dang hypochondriac. She goes, honey, you're the last person to be a hypo. She goes, we need you to fight for your health and not calm it down. And I was like, all right, well, I'll do what I can. So I'm going to the appointments. What they're trying to figure out is if I have an autoimmune disease that is causing what I'm going through, and go from there. I don't wish to have one, but I wish to have answers. Does that make sense? Like, I would like to have answers of what's going on, I guess you could say. I don't know how to explain that very well. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all for all the comments, the advice. I really do appreciate it. Even Miss Beth commented. She didn't have any answers to that. I'm like, Miss Beth, you're my dear friend. You're the moderator of this channel. You're supposed to have the answers. She didn't have answers. Somebody didn't put on their sparkly helmet and eat their share of crayons that day, I guess. I love that girl. I do. I love her to pieces. And so, yeah. Anyway, y'all take care and have a great week. Bye, guys.